Hi team, today I want to talk to you about macros. And when I say macros, I mean macronutrients. Macronutrients are the three major components that make up your food. So proteins, fats, and carbs. Now when I say carbs, I'm actually also going to talk about sugars, because carbohydrates are in fact form your sugars that you eat. So they move into that. So the three major areas that when you look at food content are the proteins, the fats, and the carbs. Now, we're trying to look at living a healthy lifestyle. And by doing that, we need to make sure those macros are in a nice range, a nice healthy range. And the best way to do it, the most simplest way, is just make sure you're eating a nice balanced meal. So you have 30% carbs, 30% fats, 30% proteins, or through your day or through your week. So having a nice balance is key. That may change depending on what your actual goal is. So you may have a goal to build more lean muscle, and in that case you may need to have more protein. You may have a goal to lose some weight rapidly, and you might want to make sure that your carbs are less. So having a balance and picking the right combination of macronutrients is really, really key. So when I say percentages, I often mean that the percentages that you might have will actually turn into the amount of grams of the proteins and the carbs and the fats that you have, which of course then turn into your calories. So this is the benefit about MyFitnessPal, is that when you record your food, it automatically identifies all those macronutrients and the micronutrients, so the vitamin A's, B's, C's, etc., and it tells you how many grams your meal has got. So it's very important then to make sure that you're recording everything so you can make the right healthy choices. Often you might find one food that you have has more carbs than you would like, and so you might alternate that and swap that over. Let's just use bread as an example. Soy and linseed bread, a fabulous bread by Bergen. I used to have it all the time. That has around about 25 grams of carbs to about 10 grams of protein. So, you know, the balance isn't too bad for a couple of slices of bread. But I have another bread that's more seedy, and that is actually got a completely reverse. It's actually got 25 grams of protein and about 5 grams of carbs. So it's a better choice for me if I'm trying to add proteins into my diet. Now, we don't want to have too much of one or the other, because they can also have impacts on what you're doing. So if you have too much protein, you might have digestive issues. If you have too much carbs, you might find that you're gaining a little weight. It's all relative. And sometimes too much fats could affect your heart. You might find that there's cholesterol impacts on your heart. So picking the right choices, picking the right foods is absolutely key. And having everything in moderation is going to be vital as well. Now let's just talk about moderation. Let's say, because we love whole foods, right? And we think that eating whole foods is so vital and can't be anything wrong. I don't need to record my macros because I'm eating a healthy lifestyle. And that is true. But moderation is key. Let's say I have a mango for breakfast, because mangoes are delicious. I go and have an apple for lunch. I'm going to the gym, so I'm going to have a banana just before I pop off to the gym. And then when I get home, I'm going to have a few grapes because they're in the fridge. And if I have those 4 pieces of food and just an average apple, 100 grams, an average banana, handful of grapes, and maybe 100 grams of mango, I've done the maths. That is 284 calories. So that's not bad. That's fantastic. It's 75 grams of carbs. It has no fats and no proteins, and those carbs will turn into 55 grams of sugar. So that much fruit in one day is really blowing your percentages of what you're trying to do eating a healthy meal. So that's 74 grams of carbs. Now how am I going to find the same sort of number in proteins? So maybe you might say, I'm not going to have a mango, apple, banana, and grapes. I'm just going to have 2 or just one of those fruits. Have everything in moderation. So that would be really key. So having the whole foods is brilliant. It allows you to have lots of vegetables, and therefore you get the right carbs in there. So choosing good healthy foods will give you the nice blend of your macros. But also we have to have whole foods. Processed foods at times. You might have tuna. You might have the bread I spoke about. So each of these have their own macro complexities, and then again, making the right choice. When you're looking at cereal, pick the right cereal based on the macro blend. So I recommend take your glasses shopping and use them. Read the back of the pack. How many of us read the back of the pack? Not everybody. So read the back of the pack and make a healthy choice based on the macronutrients in the food. And the best way to do that is look at the 100-gram column, because then that's the same for every food you look at. So 100 grams, what is the calories, what are the proteins, what are the fats, what are the carbs, and what are the sugars? And if you like, what is the sodium? Because sometimes things are laden with salt, and you might say, I don't really want salt because, again, my arteries, I'm going to take care of them. So have a look at those macro and micronutrients and make some healthy decisions. So that's going to be a lot about what this challenge is about. It's about making the right choices that you can live with long term so that you live a healthy and happy lifestyle. So what I'd like to do now is let this open for you to ask questions. So send back some notes here in the comment section, and let's talk about the macronutrients. Cheers, guys.